Hey guys, welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. SkormsGhost here. Today we just are picking up where we left off on hiring Morak, the dwarven fighter, into our ranks. So with that said, I think what we're going to do is go back to the cave where that guy said his friend died from the bear. Go back there, then try and go back and fight the creatures that killed us the last time. So let's continue.
No problem.
Someone in there we haven't talked to yet, may as well. This temple used to be closed up. I used to climb up on the big stones. I do know we have to go look at that dead woman that we saw hanging in the tree. I think we'll do that when we come back. And it looks like that's her with the aura around her, the purple. But first, I kinda want to see what's in that cave. And that is a camp where we talked to that guy. It looks like he moved on already. Of course, it's probably been about 16 or like 32 hours later. So over a day. So he probably was hurrying on his way out. Alright, we got a book, so I will read that afterwards. Probably at the end. Or maybe maybe I'll make that a separate episode of reading like the books themselves, like small episodes, which would be kind of cool idea. I believe the cave is this way. Alright, let's go try this again. Let's go get us a bear. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Alright, looks like I am so far the only one who died. Wow, that bear takes like 2 hits. Alright, we got the bear hide. Found across the regions of Glanpath and the Direwood, bears are formidable predators. They are amongst the beasts most highly regarded by servants of God of the Hunt, who often seek out the largest and most deadly of the species to prove their skills. Bear hides are highly valued, and the claws of the eldest among them are often strung into necklaces and totems, making the wearer as a hunter of worth. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Huh?
Alright, and there's that guy who died. It looks like there's a camp here before. We can maybe zoom in a little more. Yeah, looks like there's a camp here before and the bear just happened to move in. Maybe like a smuggler's den. A figure drifts suspended into the musty air at the cavern. It forms in features blurred, the twist and cascading ripples of the incandescence. You feel its energy eddying about your limbs, filling them with a heavy chill. Alright, I'm gonna reach out to the spirit. You reach out a hand for the spirit. In the moment of contact, you feel as if you're struck a blow, head reeling as you tumble helplessly into a waiting darkness. Light blossoms at the edge of your vision. You feel the sun at your back and the weight of the bow of your hand. You know, suddenly, that you have come a long way from the vale, hunting deer. Now you are standing before a cavern, and the darkness extends far into its depth. Even so, your friend strides out before you, his red cloak flapping at his heels. You follow, heart hammering in your chest, as he leads you into the cavern. Alright, well maybe what that guy told us about a bear killing his friend and dragging him off, I believe, may not be true if he's being led, but we'll see. Well, maybe it is true. There's a roar like thunder echoing around you. Fear seizes you, casts you stumbling back towards the exit, towards the light and escape. You see a giant of steel, and there's a sudden terrible flash of agony behind your knee. You scream, stumble, fall. Your thoughts are chaos, lanced through with pain, but in a moment of terrible clarity you see a friend look back from the mouth of the cavern, his dagger daubed in crimson to match his cloak. Okay, well, I guess I was right, his friend did get him. Maybe he knew the bear was in there and just hit him. And then there's a great dark shape above you, and then there's more pain. The vision recedes and you are thrown back into yourself with seemingly relentless force. The corpse lies at your feet, and the specter lingers in the span of energy between you both. You feel a sense of questioning, of confusion, of anger. So, I'm gonna say I met him on the road, your friend. A sudden lashing anger emanates from the spirit. Rage and grief seem to pour from the gleaming figure like smoke. I'll find him and see that he answers for what he's done to you. I mean, I always want to try to do the right thing. For a moment the spirit seems to burn bright, and your head fills with a sickly triumph. The spirit seems to weaken with the force of its own exultation, growing fainter and fainter until you are alone once more. Aloth looked at you through narrowed eyes. Are you alright? You seemed lost just now. Yeah, I'm fine. He folded his arms. That's good to know, but I don't suppose you could tell me what that was all about. I'm not really sure. It just recently started happening. He raises an eyebrow. Indeed. At the risk of sounding patronizing, you should probably have that examined. He scratches his cheek. It's a shame that Lord Redrick hanged half of the Gilded Veil. The Valiant Dwarf might have known something about your condition. Yeah, but let's continue on. So his friend killed him. So now I need to go confront Nonton. So I'm not gonna loot. It looks like I can't loot the dead guy anyway, but I can at least look in this chest over here. A great sword, two-handed, speed slow. I will take it. Now look at the inventory of our friend here. Seen the 22 pierce damage. Slash pierce damage. Alright, I know there was a bush that we could look at over here. Cave coral. And we can exit. Since we're out and we need to go back to the Gilded Veil, we're gonna try and go get some of that, go find that lost cart for the blacksmith. The merchandise he's after. And while I'm around, hopefully I can get some camping supplies so I can rest at night while camping. Forest troll.
Let's go!
This guy's pretty tough.
No problem.
Oh wow. Just the detailing in this game. Amazing. Wonder if we're on the right path. Glad his friend isn't coming out to help him.
Hmm?
Whoa. Let's see.
Ah, got him!
This won't hold me for long.
Damn it! Useless!
Most inconvenient.
And once again I died, and I think I found a caravan, or maybe at least a, something pretty valuable up there, so we'll try it again. But I think we'll go back to the Black Veil, the Gilded Veil first, and, confront that guy for killing his friend, and we'll come back here afterwards. In the Valewood, I have happened upon a curious hunter who told me his friend had been killed by a large bear in the area. After exploring the area, I found a cave, the bear, and Pearlie's remained. I experienced a vision of Pearlie's last moments, which revealed a far more sordid truth. His friend Nonton hamstrung him as he attempted to escape the bear. What reasons Nonton had for this are unclear. Perhaps I will find more answers by confronting the man himself. Nonton lives in the nearby town of Gilded Vale. So let's see if we can find his house.
Got it.
There he is. Ingrid. This man and woman appear to have been deep in conversation, working at closing two bulging satchels. They move to embrace until the woman notices your approach and pauses, her smile faltering a little.
Hail, traveler.
Can we help you? She looks to her companion, brows furrowing with confusion. Do you know this man, Nonton? Nonton coughs. Yes, I think we met in Valewood. I warned him about the bear. He inclines his head. Glad to see you made it. But there's something else you wanted. You seem to be in a hurry. Yes, I imagine so, Ingrid laughs. We're packing for a trip, actually. I've been meaning to visit Defiance Bay, and she looks at Nonton. While in truth, I think I've had my fill of this town. Nonton reaches to take her hand. It's time for some new scenery, he says. I know what really happened in that bear cave, Nonton. The color drains from Nonton's face. I don't know what you mean. I told you the truth of it. Are you accusing him of something? Ingrid looks to Nonton, touching his arm. If this is about the accident, we're both grieving Pearlie's loss, but it was the wild animal's doing. Nonton shakes his head minutely. You see a tremble in his hand. What would you suggest? What would you suggest such a thing? I had a vision in the cave. I saw Pearlie's last moments as he lived them. I saw you cut him with a knife. I don't know if I want to tell him that, because if I do, and if I go to like the Lord or anyone, he may say, "Oh, I had a vision, and the Lord had to kill everyone." I'm just gonna say, "Why did you do it? He was your friend." Nonton hesitates, then expression darkens. My friend? He was cruel enough man to be his friend. You didn't know him. You wouldn't defend him if he did. His hand falls to his sword belt. Nonton, wait. Ingrid raises the hand. I don't know what you saw in that cave, but this isn't what you think. Pearlie, my husband, he was as much of a beast as that bear. I tried to leave the first time I suffered his temper, but he wouldn't have it. She looks away, expression pained. Nonton, we met, and I knew I'd find someone special, someone kind who cared for me. Yeah, so he killed his friend just so that they could have each other. Please, all we want is to leave this place, to start something else. She looked down at the satchel. We've some coin saved up. You could have it, if you'll only let us go. Now we have a decision to make. Because I do need coin for another adventurer, but I don't know. I'm gonna say I'm gonna take it to the magistrate. I don't know what to think. You tell the magistrate a story about a dream you had? Nonton sneers, but you won't take this from us. Not when we're close, and not for that wretched Pearlie. Nonton draws his blade. Nonton, no! Alright, we got them both. And they have daggers, swords. Alright, so we have 20 more gold. Ooh, nice, a saber. And another book. I think I'll still go to the magistrate just to let them know what happened.
I have received confirmation that Lord Radric's heir was not born well. My lord has issued an injunction on all new homesteads until he can be assured that the village has been cleansed of all Eothasians and whatever other undesirables that have brought this curse upon his lands. It would be best if you left town as soon as possible. I would suggest returning to your old home. There will be no place for you here. You may stay at the inn until you can make the necessary arrangements, but I would not advise remaining long. I expect Lord Radric will be most thorough in his efforts to purify this place.
I'd like to report a murder. Magistrate raises a brow. As is your duty, what happened? A man called Nonton killed his friend Pearlie out in the wild. A cruel and cowardly deed, if indeed it occurred at all. What evidence do you have? I will go find some. These are not accusations to make lightly. Alright, so it looks like I'll need to go, but since we're here at the tree, we'll talk to the woman. Caldara de Berranzi. The squat, distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from the thin, crooked bow that sagged on the tug of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away into patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to another when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on its surroundings, but there's a tepid warmth to it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it. Not with your hand, but with some aspect of yourself that no worldly dimension. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective as you exhale. You feel yourself spreading out towards the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there's a sudden jolt in your mind, a ringing electric surge of images and worlds and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she's staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog, her body still swaying in a wind you no longer feel from the tree that stands planted in the misty void. The woman gives you a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear, or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
Am I imagining this?
No, I think not. A pity that. It would be simpler. A mercy even. To not have to wander anymore, no? Alas, we are here, you and I, wherever here may be.
How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
I need to understand something that's happened to me. She nods, a look of pity on her face, as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there.
She nods.
You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
What is a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair, and here we are visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on. Some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on. And those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either living or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how. A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder!
What do you mean, when all goes well?
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
She smiles at you reassuringly, fanning out a tuft of long whiskers that sprouts from one of her cheeks.
You should see old Merwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
I think I survived a baywhack. Do you know why that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Call them. Those days are all behind me, no?
You said souls break apart over time. What do you mean?
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again, but less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. No. A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think. Me? I'll bore you to tears, though.
Who are you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Berranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
What happened to you? She laughed, a rasp-choked crackle escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing your blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now! Such a question! As though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling! Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer. Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
What did you find?
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
What's an animancer?
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are. But the best of us? The best? Inspirations, miracle workers. My parents were soul twins, miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other, turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid. It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
I had some other questions.
Of course, dear.
Actually, I changed my mind. Farewell.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldara closes her eyes and her head slumps forward over her knees, and your surroundings seem to bleed into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. I was granted the Crucible of the Soul. So now I need to travel to Caed Na. So that will end it for this episode. Thank you for joining me through this playthrough. I know it's been a lot of dying and very slow playthrough, but I'm trying to get the most out of this game that I can. And until next time.